Hattiesburg, thanks for joining us for this Monday afternoon briefing for COVID-19 and some other city news. Today we will talk about our testing numbers at all of our healthcare organizations. We will also talk about some reporting totals that we've received for the first time in 5 days, as well as some city news and, of course, our regular active courage. These are numbers for all of our healthcare organizations: Forest General, Merit Health Wesley, Hattiesburg Clinic, and Semri. As of this morning, 19,937 tests have been conducted since this began in March. 1,840 of those have come back positive. 17,714 have come back negative. We have 382 tests that are currently pending. 38 patients in the hospital right now for COVID. That's between Merit Health Wesley and Forest General. That's 3 under the average for the last 14 days. In our most acute situations, we have 12 people in the ICU between our two hospitals. That's 5 under the average for the last 14 days. And so looking at this on a chart, we've had a really promising week. Just over a week ago, we almost hit 50 in terms of total hospitalizations. But that number's dropped. We're under 40 now, always a good sign. Our ICU admissions and utilization, that number's fallen well below 20. We're getting close to the 10 mark. Of course, as new tests come out, the first part of the week usually, you may see that number start to rise, but still a very promising development for trying to slow the spread. We did have 2 new deaths reported in the last 5 days, one in Forest County, one in Lamar County. So the total now, 42 deaths in Forest County from COVID-19, 8 in Lamar County, bringing the total metro area to 50. Some new positive numbers. This is some of the reason we haven't had a briefing since last Wednesday. We haven't received new county-specific numbers since last Wednesday. The Department of Health had a software malfunction, and as they are trying to sort that out, they were giving statewide totals over the weekend, but nothing county-specific. And so we do appreciate getting those totals today. This, of course, is for the last 5 days. Over the last 5 days total, Forest County has seen 32 new cases. Lamar County has seen 41 new cases. Again, those are totals over a 5-day period, which brings the total since this began in March. Forest County is at 729, Lamar County is at 341, bringing the metro area total to 1070. For the sake of the 5-day new positive curve, as well as the inside 14-day number, what we're going to do is we spread those 32 in Forest County and those 41 in Lamar County over 5 days. And I conferred with the administrator of Lamar County, Jody Waits, who also keeps a 5-day rolling average. And so doing it this way, we were able to sort of smooth out the number over 5 days, as opposed to saying all 32 happened in 1 day. And so here's that's what you'll see here. The 5-day average, Lamar County is just slightly above Forest County in terms of new positive cases. Of course, the 5-day average where we take the number of new positive cases on a given day, we average it with 2 days prior and 2 days after. And so both of those, however, are around the 5 mark, which is really positive development in terms of new positive cases. I appreciate the collective and individual efforts from so many stores who, people wearing masks, that's having a real effect, I believe. In terms of the inside 14-day mark, this is the number of people who have tested positive within the last 14 days for each county. This is also a good indicator of how many potentially active cases, and again, it's only an estimate, but potentially active cases in a community right now. So Forest County, that number is down to 122. Factoring in the 42 deaths, the number of outside 14 days, which is a good sign for how many have recovered, how many have survived COVID. It's 556 for our county. Lamar County, inside 14 days, up to 75 now have tested positive in the last 14 days, so potentially 75 active cases in Lamar County. Understanding this disease usually has runs a lifespan of 14 days or fewer. So this is that curve. Forest County continues to stay under 150, which is what we hope for. Lamar County slightly above 50. We're at 75 now, but the total for the metro area is at 200, and that's what we hope to see, is to stay at 200 or below, because the more that we can contain the number of active cases, that's going to limit the spread of this even further. And so after that big spike in the middle of May, we're continuing to stay well below that in terms of active cases. Because going forward, we have to continue staying the course with protecting vulnerable populations, people over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions. We have to continue preventing overrun of the healthcare system by slowing the spread, understanding that we don't exist in a vacuum. A lot of what drives demand for our healthcare system happens outside of Forest and Lamar counties, because people come to Hattiesburg for their health care. And then again, as we open prioritizing public health while giving the private sector the space it needs to operate. We continue to lean on the widespread availability of testing, which leads to early identification. We continue to push the wearing of masks, which is showing some really good results. Watching our own data, listening to all voices. Some non-COVID city news. If you did not see this, on Friday we graduated the latest recruit class for the Hattiesburg Police Department. This is class number 37, and according to the instructors and having met with the class on 2 occasions myself, one of the best classes that the Academy has produced in a really long time. So 14 new police officers will be hitting the streets over the next several months. These are really sharp individuals. Many of them already have college degrees who wanted to come and stay in Hattiesburg and start a career in law enforcement. So we're excited to see what they do with our police department going forward. And our act of courage today, this happened on Friday. We unveiled the newest mural. We want to thank the Lee family and Firestone for allowing this to go on the back of that building. This is located between the Eaton Law Firm and the Thirsty Hippo on McLeod Street. This is called Suffrage. Of course, 2020 is the 100th anniversary in August of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And of course, we know for many in the African American community, that right to vote took several more decades to get here. Nonetheless, we are excited to see this mural has a lot of depth to it. There are a lot of stories about women who had to go out and sort of hide their way to get a voter registration form and get registered. And so this depicts that. Heidi Petrie was the artist on this, and so did a really great job. The thing that's really meaningful on this is on the side, there is a list of all the women who have held county office or who have held office in the city of Hattiesburg over the past 100 years. Many of them were on hand on Friday to help unveil this mural. And so for those current and former elected officials who are women in our community, we thank them for being trailblazers, and we hope that you'll take the time to stop by and look at it. It's it's going to be one of the favorite murals we have in this city. As we start the week, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself mentally and physically. Wear a mask if you go out in public. Do only what is essential, and remember, you're safer at home. Have a great week.